Rob, Jeff. I'm not sure if it's playing up or can see your 3 messages, but it's telling me no one watching. Just wait for a few people to arrive, because I've got something I want to do, or something that I'm contemplating doing, but I was going to throw it out to you guys and get your input. Hi, Rob. I've just been cleaning web off spider glass, and wow, that stuff's strong. So there was I was pulling some from the front, and it was actually moving the entire load of webbing at the back. Hi, M. Myers. I'll let a couple of you get in, and then I've got something that I want to do, but I'm gonna get your guys' advice and go with what you say. And we'll probably do that in a second. Right, trim. I'm just gonna make trim a mod. So trim should have his spanner now. I can do the same for Kim. So Kim should have a spanner now. Sam, you've you got one on time. I was talking. I had a video call with my missus earlier down at my friend Saban's cafe in Marmaris in Turkey, and Stevie G, one of the shop owners, was come on the phone, and he says, "How you doing?" I went, "Yeah, sound." He says, "Look at that mustache." He said, "It's like a Turkish man's. It's better than my dad's." Cool. Cool. Thanks, Kim. Well, that number jumps up very quickly. Don't know if it's going to jump down again, but it's jumped up. Wow. Absolutely wow. Hiya. I'm good, thank you. Yourself? Hello from Kashmir. Alexander. Hi up. How you doing? It went up to 97, Rob. Hello, Rakesh. So I do know Kashmir, but I'm not. I can't. I don't know if it. I know it's on the border, but I don't know which side of the border it's on. So I'm not gonna insult anyone and say it's here or it's here. But I know it's a disputed territory. I know Bangladesh. Yes. Yes. I wasn't sure if it was India or Pakistan, Kashmir, or if the region crosses the two countries. So UK. So in the UK, do a regular Wednesday, well, it's 7 p.m. in the evening here. So the regular 7 p.m. Called Shrimping Around. It's in my fish room, shrimp room, and just sort of having a chat really and going over a few things. So thanks. My eyesight's horrendous and I'm only on my phone, so excuse me. So hi Atif, Munir. So near Birmingham, city's called Tamworth, but near Birmingham. So Tamworth, UK, just outside Birmingham. So hit the like button because it will help us to grow the stream if possible. That would be appreciated. And I'm going to start with, I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll have a start with, so there's a couple of things I want to do on tonight's stream. One of them is, so those that follow the channel know that I've been having problems with this tank. So this tank has been completely scrubbed. It's sat in Clorox bleach. It's been washed out. It's been neutralized. And I don't know what to put in it. So I want you guys to sort of help me make that decision. And again, those of you that watch the channel know that I moved my Orange Eye Blue Tigers and I've been having trouble. I've lost quite a few. So I do want to reset this tank. And the question is, do I set this up with a slightly higher pH and move the Tigers up there? Because the plan was to do some breeding from my fancy Tigers and select a couple of pairs. But I can reset this tank and do that because the shrimp that are in there are being moved to down here. So the Dragon Bloods are being moved to down here. I'm also in the process of emptying all my blues over into the mixed tank. So that's sort of ongoing at the moment. So I'll have another tank free there. So question for you guys is, do I set that up and breed from my fancy tiger colony, or do I rescue the Orange Eye Blues and set that up and set that up to move my Orange Eye Blue Tigers into? Because they did really well in a smaller tank, and since I've moved them, they've had a nightmare. Now, if I do move them, I'm going to put them, I'm going to put them on TerraActive soil. So it does give a slightly higher pH, but I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Do I go full on Caradina and use it as a breeding project, or do I rescue my blue colony, my Orange Eye Blue colony? So I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Let you guys make some decisions. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I've done some work in this tank and I've cleared it out so I can see the frogs a bit better. So I've cleared all the mix out the middle. This was the piece of wood that was in the middle, and I've stripped it all out and cleaned it, and frogs are jumping everywhere. But they're definitely out and more active since I've moved it. No, they're not going on Akadama. Not a chance. I could put them on Akadama because I do have some Akadama, but it's not the Akadama. It's aquatic Akadama, not the Akadama for bonsai. And then my other plan for this evening was to feed these guys. So I learned something today. So I had no flies and I had to order in 2 cultures because mine had gone really mouldy. But I forgot that I'd ordered this one and it was sat up on the top. So I do have a culture. I hated that culture because it absolutely stunk of vinegar. Absolutely stunk of vinegar when I got it. And I thought it was spoiled. I thought it was absolutely spoiled. So, hi, John. And I've been reading up about fruit fly cultures going mouldy or furry or fungused. And apparently, if you put cider vinegar in the mix, a drop of cider vinegar, it stops that happening. And likewise, if you you can sprinkle some cinnamon in. So I'm definitely going to do my mix. My fly culture mix is a bit different. So come on, man, I'm watching comments. What do I do with that tank? Do I set it up full on Caradina and use it for something, or do I move my orange eye blues into it? Get voting there. Thanks, Rob. And thanks, Rob, twice. So once for the thumbnail. Probably hackers, mate. Let's give John a spanner, actually. There you go. Oh, sorry. Come on, I'm not clicking on anything. I'm clicking the arrow. Oh, what, we got a bit of a mix here. I don't know if you can set up a poll while you're in here, but so Rob said move the blues. I know John would move the blues. Full on Caradina. Okay, so they're on at the moment Aquasolum, and again, I'm going to let you guys choose this. They're on Aquasolum. They did quite well for me before on that blouse soil, but I do have Hugo Kamishi Akadama. So blouse soil or Akadama. I knew Rob would say no. Thing is, if I use the blouse soil, I've got to replace it. If I use the Akadama, I'm never gonna replace it. They're quite small Akadamas as well, and it is designed specifically. So the 1 to 4 mil, but they are specifically designed for the aquarium. And I either sell. I mean, I've sold one, I think, and I've still got 3 bags. So do I just use it up? Right. So they're going to go on blouse soil then. And I mean, the danger is I haven't got any Amazonia. Can't get it. Oh, yeah, you might see a. Oh, actually, that is fantastic. Look what I've just found. Already open. This is really dark though. So I'm going to put really dark shrimp on a really dark substrate. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm not sure if the other one's brown, because they do 2 colours. What else we got knocking about that's open? And the other thing is, as quick as I can find, as quick as I can buy environment, it's gone. Let's have a look at this one. If this one's brown, I'm going to open it. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys, let's turn the light. Let's turn the light on in there. Bear with me. So I've got. Can you guys see that colour? Difficult. But there's brown and black, and the black is black. But they both do the same thing. But they're better for tigers. So I think we're going to go with I know it is black as well. Do you know something? That's not a bad shout, Sam. Let me see if I've got a UGF box spare. Mind you, it's not much. It's only a 25 litre tank. I wasn't going to use a UGF. I was going to use a sponge, just a double sponge. This brown's quite light. It's not as light as Akadama, but it is light. I'm going to open it. I need to take it out of stock. So let me see if I can show you the difference. This is going to be interesting. So I've got to try and put this back in the bags with two hands. Can you see the difference between the black and the brown? And it's not really under light. But let's get it in anyway. Let's do it. It does leach ammonia quite hard. So let's do it. And then once we've done that, we'll feed the frogs. Let me turn this camera around. If I put that there, that works. I'll get a bit closer. Put that there, that works. So top off. I'll come back to the just standard double sponges. But this tank is so I've dried it out. What I have noticed is this it's getting really warm. And this is the corner that's sort of closest to the where you'd expect it to be cool. I'll do them in a sec. I did bleach the sponges as well, but I've ended up throwing those sponges away and using some old ones. Oh dear. I'm not going to put, well, he says he's not going to put it all in, but let's have a look. So that'll look, you'll see that a bit better under light now. So it is quite light. It's not, it is brown, but it's not black, if that makes sense. I'll get some more of this acting in. I do like it. It looks. Rob noticed that. Rob's tried it. It definitely leaches ammonia, so you do have to cycle it. But when you first put water on it, it almost looks like silver balls. It's quite bizarre. Let's undo my tap. I need to find my spoon. Let's gauge it. There we go. Easy. 420 time. 222 time. So while that's excuse the mess. I'm going to lower this down a second, guys. Bear with me. I do with a couple of tripods, you know, like at different heights that I could sort of just have around the room and fold away when I need to. But so they're all on quick releases. So this is my stand here. Rubbish. And next job. Get the white powder out. So Rob knows what this is. So I was trying to teach my daughter this last year for when we went away. So this is called Dendracare, and it's like a calcium and vitamin powder. So the froggies get some calcium and vitamins in their diet. And then this little technique. So I've got my tub with my powder in. I've got my flies. And they all climb to the top. So you tap them down. And then simply just tap them out. And you might lose the odd one over the side. So I prefer a bigger tap. And then you have to keep tapping it while you put the lid on. So I usually prefer a smaller tub like that, tapping into a bigger tub. because it definitely is easier in case you lose any. So we've got a really good feed for the flies, for the frogs actually. And then if I can just turn this round for you guys, we'll get these fed and then we'll have a natter. Oh, up, across, wrong way. I'll take that up a bit. I think Rob was saying Charlotte's got like a tripod that's almost single. That's better. And it so you just lift it up and down as you need to, and it's probably loads better. Look at them waiting. So there is quite a lot of flies here, but they'll soon camera goblin. I keep trying to get my son to be my cameraman, but he's having none of it. But yeah, it's almost like a single. It's like a monopod with not a flat base, but like a Y base. So it's probably loads easier for this type of manoeuvring. I'll have a go at feeding the others, but I'll be surprised if they come out. They may do. They've only just started sort of coming out a bit, really, since I've ripped their home apart. Yeah, I'll have to look into one, Rob, even as a spare. Yeah, she bullied the female bullies the male, but he's very submissive, so she'll sort of get on his back and push him down, and he doesn't even. Sometimes he'll sort of walk round with her on his back. Oh, there's the night crew light. My son's been feeding me since. So the wife went away yesterday lunchtime. So her flight was yesterday lunchtime, and my lad's been dying to cook a proper spaghetti bolognese, not a jar one, a proper one with very little tomato, but like everything's cooked from scratch. Onion, celery, carrots sweated down, meat cooked down, then your spices, then your carrots back in, then you with red wine and everything. It was stunning. But he said every time I've seen someone watch it or make it, he says they use like a crock pot. And I said, I've got one in the cupboard. My missus says, you have? And I said, I have. It's in that cupboard down there. And she had a look and said, it's not. So I ended up getting down onto my knees to find it, and we found it. And after my son washed it yesterday, he said, have you seen the signature on the bottom of this crock pot? He said, it's Gino De Campo, but it's not crock. It's a cast iron enamel thing. And then today he's cooked me, and he's been washing up as well. So today he's cooked me So he's spiced some chicken up. He's cut some chicken breasts up, spiced it, and did like honey and chili glaze to it in a pan. And then he's also done what the Americans would refer to as tater tots, but they're seasoned. So little cubes of potato that were seasoned and spiced, and then the whole thing's mixed together and drizzled with garlic mayo and barbecue sauce. Absolutely stunning. 20 years, coming up 21 years. Should you have a go at the, let's see, I've still got some flies in the pot that these guys will have. But let's see if we can, because I know we don't get to see them very often, but let's see if we can entice the, this will definitely have to go all the way up. Let's see if we can entice the phantasms up. I'll move the angle on this in a sec, guys. Let me just lock it in place. And I'll zoom out a bit. Just to see if you can get. Salad? Salad? It's sacrilege. I do like salad. I'm not that fussed to have meat on a meal. If I'm honest, I'd eat just veg, even a roast. I'd eat just veg. So I've got to be a bit careful here because I don't want to give them too many. Just keep catching the rabbit food. Let's see if we can entice them out or walk away. And the few that are left, I'll give to these. We should have called these Greedy and Guts. Do you know when we did the naming comp? The other two. Greedy and Guts would have been an absolutely fantastic name for them, but it was done fairly. They're Leap and Lily. So I'm not sure if these will come down. When I built the background, right at the very top in the top left corner, there's a little dip to get cables through for misting systems. And because these frogs are small, they actually found the dip. So one of them's probably sat up in that dip now. Let me see if I can see. Yep. Let me see if I can show you this because it's unreal where they can get to. I'm going to try and see that corner above there. There might even be two there actually. See the frogs? Right in that corner. Where's my finger? There. There's a frog in there. In that, it's a tiny little dip as well. So I don't know if we'll encourage these out, but we may do. And I don't even know where they hide. Hi Pete. No, the room's heated. So the room's currently at 25C. So it's normally a little bit lower than that. I normally keep it at around 20, 21, 22. But I'm trying something with these frogs to see if I can get them to start calling and breeding. And I've lowered the humidity a little bit and raised the temperature like a dry season. Hi Melvin. Just scrolling back through some of these views. salad for lunch. Pork shoulder. Good pulled pork, but I don't eat pork now. Don't eat pork at all. I've missed Malvin somewhere. I've missed whoever Stella is. So if I've missed you, apologies. So yeah, at the moment the room's sitting at, ignore the humidity sensor, it's not working. But 25.5 this tank's sitting at the moment. But I have put some new larger leaf litter down in that centre, so it may have freaked them out a bit, literally before I come on air. And I'll quickly show you the tank that you chose what to do with. Oh, here's my little plecos. Look. Don't they create some waste? There's one. There's the other, and they found the algae wafers. That isn't the same algae wafer, by the way. So yeah, the top up system's working in full effect. So that's my top up. That's my mix. Each rack has got its own valve, and the tank's topping up nicely, and it will just stop when it's full. And then what I was doing before we came on air, they'll have gone to bed now, but I was cleaning the front glass on the spiders. But they'll be in, and what this bit of webbing here at the front, when I pull that, all of that at the back comes as well. And I've got one in there who's molting at the moment. And then the let's see if I can get a better shot of these. And then the ember bees are eating some GB flake. So that fish food goes around all over the place. So it goes to there we go. It gets fed to isopods. It gets fed to fish in the house. Sometimes gets fed to shrimp as well. Hi, fish. I'm going to make you a moderator. So Jeff's having chicken for dinner. Rob's having a chili. I've had something similar to patatas bravas with spiced honey chicken. What's everyone else having? Or have you eaten? Hi, Johannes. I'm assuming that's the office, who I've made mod as well, so you should have a spanner. So anyone that's new in here, if you want to check out any of the other channels in the chat, the blue ones, you can just click on them and go to channel. So any of the comments with blue on, you can just click on that and go to their channel. And likewise, if you're into sort of shrimp, dart frogs, isopods, spiders, stuff like that, and you're not a subscriber to me, hit the subscribe button. I was earlier on in the process of doing some isopod tubs as well. So I was just in the I think I've got 6 left to do. So they were getting fed, getting sprayed. Our fish has got a spanner. There you go. Oh, in a hotel room near Stockholm. Hotel room working and away. I used to do loads of that. Absolutely loads of it. Working away. Project work. Stockholm, Sweden, yeah? In Stockholm, Sweden. I'm trying to get my geography right. Yeah. I always mix up the Scandinavian. I don't know the cities that well. Copenhagen's Denmark, isn't it? Copenhagen's Denmark, and is Stockholm the capital of Sweden? I've been to Sweden many years ago. Um, did this. I'd have been 17, and I'm now 56. So that's how long ago it was. And we did this. We did this trip. My dad used to organise these like group trips away, and it was a long weekend to Gothenburg. And I can remember back then it was expensive compared to here. It was I think, well, it wasn't a pint, it was like half a litre. But a pint here at the time was about £1.50, but there it was about, I might be getting this wrong in my memory, but I'm sure it was 30 krona, and we were getting 10 krona to the pound back then. So we literally, as much as we saw of Gothenburg was we got off this weekend ferry, got a taxi into town, went into a hotel bar, had a couple of beers and went back to the ship, and that was it. That's as much as Gothenburg as I saw. And sailing through the fjords was brilliant. It was absolutely stunning. Going through the fjords on the boat. North Sea, choppy as anything as well it was. But yeah, everyone in the boat was being sick, and everyone on the ship was being sick. And my dad said to me, he said, if you feel sick, he said, eat food. He says, because it won't stop you being sick. But if you are, you've got something to bring up. And I wasn't sick. I was sitting there eating food like crazy, and there's people hanging off the side of the boat. It was rough. It was really rough. There's people hanging off the side of the boat going for glory. And I'm just sitting there scoffing. But I've since go out in the Atlantic on small fishing boats, and in not compared to the North Sea, but in some rough seas. And my daughter's boyfriend gets a little bit travel sick, but wanted to come out fishing with us in Gran Canaria. And in Gran Canaria, there's like a shallow shelf, and you have to go out quite far to get to the pelagic game fish, the marlin and stuff like that. And I said to him, I said, it's not like Tenerife, because we go there. I says, we're on this boat for 6 hours. I said, and once we've left, because there's other people, if you're sick, they're not going to come back. So make sure you take your anti-sickness tablets, and you definitely want to come. I says, because it can get rough. And he went, yeah, I'll be fine. Took him. As soon as we left the harbour, and it wasn't even rough coming out of the harbour, as soon as we left the harbour, 6 hours over the side of the boat, and at the end of it, he poor lad, nothing you can do for him. He did say, he said it feels like I've just been in the gym for 6 hours. Absolutely drained him, and I'm just there like this, holding on. So the isopods get GB food as well. They're on algae wafers today, so once a week they get fed. Hi Keith. Scotland's beautiful. All of it's beautiful, but I did quite a bit of work. I'm sure I've said this on the channel before. I did quite a bit of work up in the Outer Hebrides, the islands that sit off the west coast of Scotland, northwest, and just different way of life. Different way of life. No McDonald's, no cinema. There is. I tell a lie. There is a cinema. There's a truck. There's a truck that turns up on the island once a fortnight, and in the back of this sort of articulated truck, there's a cinema with seats. So if you want to go and watch a film, you get in the back of this truck. It's bizarre, but a completely different way of life. I love it up there, and I've got photos somewhere of beaches in the Hebrides, and you would swear if I showed you the photo it was the Caribbean. Crystal blue waters. I mean, they probably glow at night because of Doomray nuclear power plant, but crystal clear waters. And when I say white sand, I mean white sand. But I worked up there for about 9 months. They offered me a job, and my wife wouldn't move. She's too much of a townie. I'd have gone tomorrow. You sort of driving around the island, and it's remote. There's sort of most of it's there's a few little villages, but most of it's concentrated around one town. And big old island as well. You know, it's not a small island, but they offered me a job. Was working with this guy called Dougie, and he said, I've got to nip out at dinner time. He said, I'm having a garage door delivered. He said, and I don't want to miss it because I've been waiting 3 months for it. I said, have you had to have it made? He says, no. He said, I bought it in Aberdeen and it's took that long to get it to me. Well, it might not have been 3 months. But so you want something you can't get on the island, you have to ship it across from the mainland. So I imagine it's megabucks. Like, I'm just going to shut this door. I imagine it's absolutely megabucks. There's something else I was going to do. What was I going to do? Can't remember. I was going to do something. Frogs are fed. I've saved the frog feeding for you guys. I know Jeff loves the frogs. Yeah, well, Rob, I normally screenshot at the end of it, but I'm probably just going to do the hour. I might go a bit longer, but I'm probably just going to do the hour, or at least until that tank there's. Well, I've got it right for a change. At least until that tank there's full. Because the missus is away, if I leave the dogs in there for any length of time, I come back in and they've pissed everywhere. So if you're in there, they'll go out, but they get stressed a bit. So there's always someone in our house, usually always someone in. But I've asked my son to put his Xbox down for 10 minutes and come and sit with the dogs and watch something for an hour. I might watch a film with him later, but I know he has, yeah. If I've got enough battery, I may join that, but I may join it from my living room on the settee as a guest. I'll have to see. I might be sat there with one of the dogs. I know, yeah. Are you joining that as well, Rob? Just you probably get fed up of me saying this, but just going to give a bit of a shout out for so Jeff. I don't know who's in here that doesn't know Jeff, but Jeff's running some aquatic auctions, and we're going to do a tester on Tuesday the 10th at 9:30 p.m. UK time, which is 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, I think, and that would be at 4 o'clock in the morning for Australia. So I mean, probably could do it later, but I don't want to do it too late. And Jeff's going to do the US side. I'm going to do the UK side, and my lots are mainly going to be plants. I might do some shrimp, some neocaridina. I might do some of those, but that's Tuesday the 10th, 9:30. Our auction. So I've got a nice order of plants coming on Friday. Aquatic plants, mainly Boost Anubias. So there's Boost Anubias. There's something that I've ordered for myself. I need to go shopping. I need to go and get some bits in. Because some of the plants are for escape that I'm planning on filming. I might do some shrimp. I could probably do some caridina as well, maybe. I'll have a think about it. And I'm not sure if Charlotte's joining that one and doing some isopods and stuff as well. And then there's a second auction towards the end of September. So Jeff didn't realise, I did mention it, but most people get paid towards the end of the month in the UK. Most people are paid 12 times a year. But I think in the States, people get paid weekly. I think people still get paid weekly in the States. Could be wrong. But I've been paid monthly. I think the only job I've had where I was paid weekly was I worked for Jaguar, which at the time wasn't Jaguar Land Rover, it was just Jaguar. And that was weekly pay. Oh, nice one, Rob. So Keith's close to hitting 1,000 subs. If anyone could hit that link and get Keith to 1,000 subs. Be nice to get me to 750 as well. 745 I was on earlier. Not that I'm watching. Bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. So yeah, I think there are still people that get paid weekly here, but in the main, most people get paid monthly. My wife gets paid every 4 weeks, so she'll get paid 13 times a year. Oh man, I'm 3 away. 3 away. Wow. That's jumped quick this month, that has. It sort of really petered out and sat there for ages. So yeah, that should be good. The one on Tuesday is the tester for all of us that are doing it, really, but and see how it goes. But I imagine that what will probably, I mean, Jeff will explain. So if you join those streams, Jeff will explain the rules at the beginning, and we'll sort of. I need to speak to Jeff about it, but I'm sure we'll get it to work, and there'll be some good stuff on offer, and potentially you could grab yourself a bargain, because I'm probably going to start my bidding stuff at cost or very close to cost. Probably shouldn't have said that, but I am, and I need to sit down with a spreadsheet and make sure that not one lot is the same, especially the plants, not one lot is the same as another lot. So if you miss lot 1, lot 2 is not going to be the same. They are all going to be different lots. Keep plugging away, Keith. I get really disheartened sometimes, and the slightest thing will sort of put me on a downer, and I've never been like that. And it's I think tiredness and pain and stuff. But anyone noticed I'm not standing up and down today yet? So that night where I was up in the middle of the night, not last night, the night before, That was really bad, and that's probably the worst it's been in a long time. Sort of crippling pain. And then I stayed up on the someone's live, can't remember, Rob's. Stayed up on the live quite late, and then was going to go to bed, but ended up putting a film on. What did I watch? It was on Amazon Prime. I watched some film, and I think I ended up going to bed about 2 p.m. It couldn't have been a good film because I can't remember it. And I've sat this afternoon looking for a series to watch, and I've started watching. I'm on the second episode, so don't spoil it if anyone's watched it. The Continental, the series, you know, the John Wick Continental Hotel. So I've started watching that series, which is good. No, I watched that war film the other week. Is it good, Rob? Is it a good series, or is it a bit overkill? As you're watching his live in work, fantastic. I when I when I was at work, there was nothing better than having a poo at work because you were being paid to crap. I've been salaried for years, so I don't. If I work, you know, in my jobs, if I work 30 hours, 50 hours, 70 hours a week, I got paid the same. I've been salaried. I have been salaried. So I mean, I already know the story because the guy, the main character in it, ends up being running that hotel. So I already know the. You always had two work poos, a morning one and an evening, and just before you left, about 4:30. 45 minutes. A Tugmaster I'm watching, Rob. That's fantastic. A Tugmaster's something else, Keith. You want to be careful what you say in here. Keith's a Tugmaster, guys. Oh yeah, it's us and them, isn't it? It's one up to the man. One. Yeah, whichever way you do it. I'm not going to do it on camera. I don't want to get my video took down. Getting paid to poo. Tugmaster, yeah. Fantastic. Although I'm pretty sure in one of the vlogs I've done recently, I'm trying to get a siphon going, but the water's quite far down the tank, and I think I put a text overlay saying, "Pipe sucking master, um, years of sucking pipe," or something, something like that. I haven't seen her about. Oh yes, sorry, yes, there. Thing is, when you're all blue, um, and it's so small, and my varifocals aren't brilliant. I miss people popping in, and it's only when I see people say hello to somebody in white that I catch it. So the blue's not as clear to me as the white. So hi Rebecca, you okay? Keith's just admitted to being a tugmaster. I think he's talking about the device that he uses for pulling stuff around, like that he drives at work. It's called a tugmaster, I think. Is that is a big mouth pleco similar to a wide mouth frog? Uses his nuts to pull freight. Nuts of steel. He drives that vehicle fast. It seems really quick when I've seen it on video. How do you measure a pleco's mouth? Or is that a silly question? Oh dear. So yeah, the nipper's off the Xbox. He's with a tape measure, the ruler. They're easy enough. They're easy enough to catch, but have you got to get it when it's? Have you got to measure it when it's in full suction, or can you do it by holding the pleco upside down and putting the ruler on it? Yeah, I've been sub for ages to Rebecca. I need to started watching something and then I got distracted and we're sub to so many people that catching up with stuff. Um, I mean, I probably put out quantity over quality. If I'm honest, I put so much out. Um, I try and do just a short video midweek, and if I've got anything to do with pods, pod spiders, frogs, that will always go out midweek because I made a promise that my core audience is the aquatic side of things and the shrimp, and I know a lot of my sorry, just reading something. Wanting some accuracy. Yeah, millimeters, microns. The yeah, so my weekend stuff, my Sunday long form will always be room or aquarium based. My and that's usually 10 minutes plus those videos. Um, I'm looking forward to, if I'm honest, once I've got enough subs, actually dissecting my videos because at the moment there's not enough data. Dissecting the videos and seeing where people drop off and why, and seeing if I can improve that. So if it's a 15-minute video and most people are dropping off after 3 minutes, what's occurring at that 3 minutes? What am I doing? Am I waffling too much? What's going on? And try and improve that. But one thing I'll never improve, and that's me. I'm me, and I can't change that, and I won't change that. And that's probably why my last job sacked me, because I am who I am, and I don't take no crap. So that's probably why they sacked me on some bullshit excuse. Sorry, licking my tash there. I do like the big tash, but what I don't like is if you eat a sandwich, if you don't curl your top lip up, you bite the sandwich and all your moustache hairs end up in your mouth. I did wax it yesterday, and I was gonna get it up on stream proper waxed and to the side. But I'm gonna wait till it's longer and I've got a nice good curve on it, and I'll treat you all to a waxed moustache. There's an hi Hugh. Your brows the same. Tell you what, if I didn't trim these brows, they'd be worse than that moustache. They'd be absolute. These brows are proper. If anyone's old enough to remember the politician Dennis Healy hasn't got a patch on mine. I'm convinced that if I left my brows, you ever seen them old kung fu films with the master, the grey-haired master, and he's got trailing eyebrows and the little beard? That's me. That they're like wire, and I have to trim them. I'll I'll do you a little tour here. So we keep quite a lot of stuff in here. Isopods. That's a cherry shrimp tank. Let me just get my move button on the go. Those are all isopods. I've got 4 shrimp tanks here. So all of those are Caridina shrimp. Bottom 2 are breeding projects. This one is sort of a breeding project because my galaxies kick out red galaxies and I'm separating the genetics out. These are called bloodshot Caridina. Up here we've got some dart frogs. So these are called Tinctorius azureus cobalt. There's a pair of them in there. And likewise, we've got dart frogs in here, but these are little thumbnail ones. Epibabates, Antonii, Santa Isabels, little red and white ones. And then most, but not all, so most are shrimp tanks. So these are galaxies. I've got pure red line. I've got cherry shrimp in here, but this is a little bit of a scape with a couple of little baby bristlenose in at the moment, some rabbit snails. And then this one at the moment is for my fire red Neocaridina, but this is about to get scaped. Pure white line Caridina, so those are Neos, and I've got rabbit snails and nerite snails and all sorts of snails. These are pure white line Caridina. Those are low medium grade fancy tigers. And then in the top here at the moment, I'm doing some breeding projects. So these are my deep blue bolts, and I'm selecting down to just try and get as dark as I can. A lot of those babies will come out. This is another breeding tank. So I've selected a male boa and a couple of nice females. They're actually round the back. One's got blue metallic and one for pattern. But Rob, who's in the chat, is going to send me some boa. This tank's about to get stripped because I've got a problem with seed shrimp in it that the guppies just aren't managing. So these have got in dragon bloods, and their brothers and sisters have just been moved to this tank that's been cycling. This tank's just been set up tonight, so we set that up on camera. But these orange-eyed blue will be going up there once it's cycled. Higher grade fancy tigers, and I'll do a breeding project from them in that tank once it's set. These are orange-eye red devils. Down here we've got German spotted pinto. This is a mixed tiger tank, so you probably can't see anything, but there are wild tigers. There's some orange-eyed blue in there. There's tangerine tigers. This is my mixed Caridina tank. And then I'm currently catching everything out of this tank. So I've just spotted a juvenile right there. In fact, I can see 2 on the camera, but I can only see 1. Oh, it's on the glass that I can see. Something blue on the glass. There. Could be a shrimp, actually. And various boosies and rare mosses and stuff. And then the other side of the room is, let me just turn this. Doesn't turn very fast, this. Is a lot of stuff that I sell for the shrimp and the aquarium hobby. And we also keep, so the room's not very big, but we also keep jumping spiders as well. So 4 different types of jumping spider that are currently asleep. So hopefully that answers Hugh's question. What soil did I use? 2 seconds, I'm just going to turn a pump off. What soil did I use for the tigers? It's cruel. So I use a variety. There's 3 or 4 different soils that I'm currently using, but I'll probably end up with 2 or 3. So at the moment, I'm using Glass Garden environment soil. I'm using this is zoomed. That's better. I'm using Glass Garden environment soil. I'm using Aquail Help Shrimp soil in this tank, which I really like, but I struggle to get. A couple of my tanks have got Amazonia Gold, which I'll probably have a year left on that, and then I'll have to replace it with something. SL Aqua More Nature Black soil, and the soil in the tank that we've just set up is I think it's made in Spain, although the name sounds German, but I think it's a Spanish brand. Is that stuff? It's called Blau Terra Activa. I think I say Blau sounds German, but I'm sure they're a Spanish company. Or I think they're a Spanish company. And the reason I've used Blau soil is because whereas SLAC will give me between 5.6 and 5.8 pH, environment 100% 5.5 or below. Help soil 5.5. Aquasolam I use as well, which is about 5.5, and this gives me 6 to 6.5. So it's better for tiger species because they prefer a slightly higher pH. But they're all active soils. White in Spanish is blanco, and black in Spanish is negro or negra. If you're feminine or masculine, depends how you use the word. So blanco or blanca or negro or negra, depending on how you use the word. So I'm not sure. I by the name I assumed it was Blau Aquaristic is the company. They make some lovely little shallow tanks, but I can't, because mine get shipped over from the Netherlands. They won't ship glass, and you can get them on Amazon, but they're mad expensive on Amazon. I want to buy them trade. I don't want to pay retail price for them, but they do some really nice little shallow tanks. Neos, you're looking anywhere really above 6.5. It's more 6.5 to 7.5 range. I'd probably keep them. You could probably take them a bit higher. The key thing with them is stability and the hardness of the water, whereas the Carradine are like no carbonate hardness and between 4 and 6 general hardness. You can go a lot higher with the general hardness, and you'll want KH in a Neo Carradine tank. But if the hardness of the water is too high, you'll potentially have problems with malting, because the carapace will become too hard and they won't be able to break out of the carapace and malt. Yeah, they I say that with Neos, even stability with Neos, stability is definitely key with Carradina, but they're quite hardy. But it's about consistency, I think, with them, and the general hardness is more important in my eyes than the pH. Obviously, if you've got them down at 5.5, they're not going to form a shell. So, although I'd love to know how the Carradina do it. How do they do that? Do they absorb calcium through the foods? And yeah, zero. We mix the 0 KH. That's why we use a buffering soil, because your carbonate hardness usually stabilizes the pH. But if you've got no carbonate hardness, you're prone to wild fluctuations in the pH, and that's why we use a buffering substrate, because the substrate will buffer where the KH is absent. So it's the soil that holds the pH. The soil will buffer. It does say on here actually pH 6.5. pH 6.5 with a GH of 2, which is okay for this particular soil. But I've had it lower than that. But I'm GH. You know, I'll keep them at GH 5. So I'll keep all my Caridina at GH 5, between 4 and 6. Were you feeding them calcium, Rebecca? Or did they have a calcium source? Because I mean, their shells are tough, but I imagine it's not the softness of the water. So the pH, acidic pH will erode the shell. And how do they build that shell? So if they've got another calcium source to build the shell, and the pH isn't dissolving the shell, I don't see a problem with them being on soft water as long as they've got a source of calcium. No worries, Jeff. Just going to do a few more comments, and I've increased, you can probably tell, I've increased the temperature in this room. I'm trying to shock the red frogs into calling and getting ready to breed, and seeing if I can get them to breed. And I'm not misting them every day, so I'm giving them a dry season but increasing the temperature. But because I've increased the temperature, the humidity in here is horrendous. Let's just go back, sorry. I know they were spawning well as well. They would have had a good diet. I wonder if they rely on dietary calcium than water, unlike other snails. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll be stopping. I'm dripping in here. It's so warm. Yeah, I reckon if they're getting calcium in the diet rather than from the water, and the water isn't acidic, I don't see a problem in that, because ultimately the problem with having them in soft water is usually acidic, and the acidity would dissolve the salt shells. I can show you some with corroded back ends, because I haven't my pH hasn't been high enough, but pretty much that's it. I was looking for someone in the chat then called Gaga. Who's this Gaga? He's gagging on his coffee because he wondered who Gaga was. I was gagging the other week because I was sucking pipe. They have got a much. Rabbit snails have got, apple snails. I've never kept them. But when I worked in the aquatic trade a long time ago, before they banned them in the UK, well, it was the EU that banned them, and then they allowed them back into the UK. Then it was apple or mystery or both. But when we left the EU, they found the way back in. But I think their shells are quite a thin shell anyway on the apple snail, whereas the into a bucket, Jeff. and definitely spit. I'm not swallowing that. But Keith, even, yeah, I think apple snails. To me, I think the shell on an apple snail is quite flimsy compared to Sulawesi. I think the Sulawesi shell's thick as anything. Yeah, 2021. Add us to the list. Apple snails, Jeff. Mystery snails. So, because they're classed as an invasive species in Europe, anyone in the EU wasn't allowed to keep mystery snails or apple snails, so they were banned. And I believe after Brexit, they weren't banned. So I don't know if that was because we left the EU or what. I'm not sure. But just looking at my counter, guys, and knowing that Jeff will be live in around 8 minutes, and I may grab myself a cup of tea and jump on that from the living room. Spixia, the only snacks they eat hydra, don't they? Spixie. I haven't had much to do with them. But guys, sorry to cut it short. I'm conscious that Jeff's live shortly, and I want to grab myself a cup of tea. Get myself comfortable to either watch that or cup of tea. Yeah. I'm either going to join Jeff's live or I'll watch Jeff's live. So sorry to cut everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We'll pick up the great snail debate at another time. Definitely an interesting topic. If someone reminds me next Wednesday. Yeah, if someone reminds me next Wednesday, we'll have a natter about the pros and cons of snails and Malaysian trumpet snails and all that sort of stuff, and what plant producers supply their plants with the odd snail. Thanks, everybody. Take care. I'll speak to you all on Jeff's live. I'm sure you'll be on that shortly. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.